जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन भज जनंदन
यशोदानंदन भज जननंदन
यशोदानंदन भज जनंदन
यशोदानंदन भज जननंदन
यमुना तीरा चारी यमुना तीरा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Canto 7, Chapter 2, number 49. Canto entitled The Science of God. Chapter 3, Nakashipu, the King of Beings. Atha Nityam Anityam Va Neha Shochanti Tatvidhi Nanyatha Shakyate Kartum Subhava Shochatamiti Atha Nityam Anityam Va Neha Shochanti Tatvidha Nanyatha Shakyate Kartum Subhava Shochatamiti Atha Nityam Anityam Va Neha Shochanti Tatvidha Nanyatha Shakyate Kartum Subhava Shochatamiti Atha Nityam Anityam Va Neha Shochanti Tatvidha Nanyatha Shakyate Kartum Nanyatha Shakyate Kartum Subhava Shochatamiti Atha Nityam Anityam Va Neha Shochanti Tatvidha Nanyatha Shakyate Kartum Subhava Shochatamiti. Word to word translation. Atha, therefore, Nityam, the eternal spirit soul, Anityam, the temporary material body, Va, or Na, not, Iha, in this world, Shochanti, the lament for, Tatvidha, those who advance in knowledge of the body and soul, Na, not, Anyatha, otherwise, Shakyate, is able, Kartum, to do, Swabhava, the nature, Shochatam, of those prone to lamentation, Iti, thus, translation, those who have full knowledge of self-realization, who know very well that the spirit soul is eternal, whereas the body is perishable, are not overwhelmed by lamentation. But persons who lack knowledge of self-realization certainly lament. Therefore, it is difficult to educate a person in illusion. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. According to the Mimamsa philosophers, everything is eternal, Nitya. And according to the Sankhya philosophers, everything is mithya or anitya, impermanent. Nonetheless, without real knowledge of Atma, the soul, such philosophers must be bewildered and must continue to lament as Shudras. Sri Shukdev Goswami therefore said to Parikshit Maharaj, Shruttavyadini Rajendra Rinam Shanti Sahasrasha Apashtam Atmatattvam Griheshu Medinam. Those who are materially engrossed, being blind to knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subjects for hearing. In human society, O Emperor, Bhagavatam 2.1.2. For ordinary persons engaged in material activities, there are many subject matters to understand because such persons do not understand self-realization. One must therefore be educated in self-realization so that under any circumstances in life he will remain steady in his vows. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuramitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamritamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanami Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Chakarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we welcome here. Monday morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from 7th Canto, chapter number 2, verse number 49. So here, the translation is, those who have full knowledge of self-realization, who know very well that the spirit soul is eternal, whereas the body is perishable, are not overwhelmed by lamentation. But persons who lack knowledge of self-realization certainly lament. Therefore, it is difficult to educate a person in illusion. So ultimately, what we are discussing in this verse specifically is what Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, particularly about the second chapter, the science of soul. That we are not this temporary perishable body, we are eternal soul. So, before touching the point of soul and body, let's discuss what Prabhupada is telling the purport that God is. There are 6 types of philosophies in Vedanta. And of those 6, 2 are discussed here as Prabhupada is saying that according to Mimamsa philosophers and Sankhya philosophers. Mimamsa philosopher means that one which is given by Dvijamani, and Sankhya which is given by Kapil. So Prabhupada says that both are atheistic philosophies. Even Mimamsa also and Sankhya also. What Dvijamani gives and what Kapil gives, both are atheistic sense. Not the Kapil Dev, the son of Kardamuni and Mother Devhuti. This Kapil is other one, who just gives about the information of the 24 elements and does not include the super soul in that. So according to Prabhupada says, according to Mimamsa philosophers, everything is eternal. Nitya. What is Mimamsa? Mimamsa totally works on the action and reaction. You do karma, you will be benefited. And what is Sankhya? It's what the material nature is made up of. Elements, senses, knowledge acquiring senses, working senses, trigunas, and all the stuff. 24 elements. Prabhupada says, according to Mimamsa philosophers, everything is nitya, everything is eternal, but according to Sankhya philosophers, everything is mithya, anitya, and temporary. You can say impermanent. Nonetheless, without the real knowledge of Atma, soul, such philosophers must be bewildered and must continue to lament as Shudras. Because no matter what their philosophy is, if their philosophy does not include the science of soul and super soul, they are bound to lament. That's what Prabhupada says when he went to MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology in America. He says that your university has department of every field of knowledge. But where is the department of soul, which teaches about the science of soul? So that's what Prabhupada is saying, that without the knowledge of soul and super soul, the person is bound to lament. Because he is not getting ultimate knowledge. Specifically, Prabhupada used the word as lament as Shudras. Why lament as Shudras? Why Shudras are famous for? What Shudras are famous for? Business are meant for Vaishyas. Service. Yes, Rudy?
Bring very low category of services.
Low category can say Shudras means they do hard work, laborious work without any knowledge. Because knowledge, who deals with knowledge? Brahmanas, the higher class of society. They deal with knowledge and teaching, imparting that knowledge to other person. And then who comes next? Kshatriyas. What's their role? Protection and administrative management. Then comes Vaishyas. Vaishyas are meant to do business and agriculture, cow farming. So if we see Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, all of them use some kind of brain. They use their technical skills, they use their knowledge, and specifically Brahmanas, they use knowledge. They cultivate knowledge. But Shudras, they are just meant to do laborious work serving these 3 classes. It's not we are just what do you say? Though this is the lower class, this is the high class. Untouchability, yes, that's right. But discrimination, you're not discriminating, but it's the nature. Even when we go into any company or in any administration, there are always this kind of people. There will always be a class of people who are into strategy management, who are into strategy. There will always be a class of people who are into administration. There will always be a class of people who are directly into business. What we can say is in accounts, how to increase the funds of the company directly into what's that? HR or management in particular. That department is that? HR means human resources. Marketing, yes, directly into marketing. How to double the sales of the company. And there are always one class of people in company who just do clerical work. This file transfers, typing this data typing and all this stuff. They don't have to put any brain into the words how to increase the productivity of the company. So that's why Prabhupada uses the word lament as Shudras. And even we look at into the salary segregation of the company, salary distribution. Who gets the major salary? Those who are into administration. And who gets the lower salary? The PM. Because only laborious work, clerical work. No, he does not have to put any brain into that. That's why he always laments. I work so hard. Even I work I'm the most hardworking guy in the company. From morning, means, everyone comes afterwards. I have to come most early. I have to open the lock. If I don't come, no one can enter the company. And I go at last. Still, I get the least payment. Shudras always lament. That's what Prabhupada is saying. If we, while cultivating the spiritual knowledge, cultivating spiritual knowledge, even we are into Vedanta, but to which philosophy we are referring to? We are referring to atheistic philosophies. No matter how much we are speculating on that, but if that philosophy does not have the touch of soul, super soul, we are just doing a hard labor, nothing else. It's just a mental gym. As we go to the gym for physical labor, for physical workout, we are going to mental gym just for exercising the tissues of our brain, nothing else. And Sri Shukadeva Goswami therefore said to Parikshit Maharaj, Shruttavyadini Rajendra Nrinam Shanti Sahasrasha Apashyatam Atma Tattvam Griheshu Brahmedinam. Those who are materially engrossed, being blind to knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subjects for hearing in human society. And this is a general tendency being in the material world. What's the tendency in being in material world? Why we came to this material world, first of all? Desire. Desire of what?
I can be enjoyed.
Yes, to enjoy this material nature. And Sri Prabhupada says to exploit this material nature. And how can we enjoy in presence of Lord? Not possible. As a Vaishnava etiquette, we know that whenever we have to honor prasad, what we do? We apply the curtain. So that we don't want to eat in front of Lord. Because ultimately what we are doing is sense enjoyment. So how can we do sense enjoyment in front of Lord? Have you seen cat drinking milk? He or she drinks while closing their eyes. Why?
That no one is watching.
Because cat believes if I close my eyes, if I apply the curtain, no one is watching me. I cannot see. Even if someone is watching, at least in my mind, it's there that no one is watching me. I can drink the milk peacefully. Otherwise, birds have been seen while they feed on grains. How they eat? How they eat? You're not seeing. Next time observe how birds eat. One grain into the mouth, 2 to 3 times they look left and right. Is someone there to catch him? Totally full of fear. Basically, what was my question? We came into this material world as desire. Those who are materially engrossed, being blind, knowledge of ultimate truth, have many sorts of hearing. Yes. So why we are in this material world? We are here to enjoy. Yes, I was saying that basic tendency. Being in this material world, we all have basic tendency is to enjoy separate from Krishna. Tendency to forget Krishna. Tendency to never include Krishna in our day-to-day life. That's our tendency. And that's what Prabhupada is saying, that those who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subjects for hearing in human society. Because generally, we are forgetful of Krishna. That's why in this world, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur always used to say, there is only one problem in this world, only one, no other problem. And that problem is forgetfulness of Krishna. That is the only problem. And there is only one solution to this problem, and that is remembrance of Krishna. Only one solution. And that's what here is Prabhupada is saying, that those who are materially engrossed. So being in the material world, it's, you can say, natural or normal that people are materially engrossed, because we are in this material world. If we are in spiritual world, we would have been spiritually engrossed. But being in this material world, we are always materially engrossed. Rare are those souls, Manushyanam Sahasreshu, who, even being in material world, are spiritually engrossed. So rare are those souls who, being in this material world, are engrossed or spiritually engrossed. For example, we can see what is the population of Aurangabad. 20 lakhs? Around 20 lakhs? And how many people we can see here discussing about Krishna, discussing on Srimad Bhagavatam? We can count on fingers. It's very rare being in material world spiritually engrossed. So naturally, being in material world, people are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth. People are blind. Even if they are somehow trying to cultivate spiritual knowledge, they are still blind. Because even in spiritual cultures, they have so-called philosophies where they claim that they know what's the ultimate truth. But by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we know that they are in illusion. Why? Because they are not connected ultimately to Krishna. They are not in parampara. If they are in parampara, then knowledge is perfect. So even they are following so-called spiritual path or some spiritual philosophies, they are still materially engrossed and ultimately blind to the spiritual knowledge. And that's why, because they are materially engrossed, blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, they have many subjects for hearing in society. Many subjects for hearing. You must have observed in day-to-day life, whether in family or in business or in corporate sector, at your jobs or wherever you meet someone. What people are discussing? Krishna Katha. How Krishna was stealing butter. How Krishna was giving pleasure to Yashoda. How Lord incarnates into various incarnations to help the devotees and annihilate the demons. Do they discuss what? What they discuss?
News, sports, entertainment.
What's in newspaper is totally filled off.
Negative.
It may be negative, it may be positive, but ultimately it's different subject matters. Those subject matters who have nothing to do with Krishna. They have many subject matters. Many. News channel, they run 24 hours a day. From where they bring news, so much news. And even if they don't have news, they try to create the news. And that not normally, full of sensation. So there's so much to discuss. And they discuss that. And while discussing, time is passing. And at the end of the day, the Lord of Death. Who's Lord of Death? Raj. He knocks. He or his followers, representing members, they knock at the door. Sir, or ma'am, your time has come. Let's go. You know what? The amazing thing, even being in spiritual society, even practicing spirituality, that's what Yaksha said to Yudhishthira Maharaj. What's the most amazing thing in this world? Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Yani yani bhutani gachanti amalayam shesh sthavaram icchanti kim ascharya tarva. Yani bhutani, itne sare, so many souls are going to gachanti yam alayam. Prabhupada says gachanti yama mandira. In the mode of Yamaraj, they are going. Daily we are seeing someone is passing by. And Shesh Sthavaram Ichanti. Shesh, the remnants. What they desire, Ichanti Sthavaram. That we will stay here permanently. They are going, let them go. I am here. They left the property, I will handle that property. I will take care of that property. Shesh Sthavaram Ichanti Kim Ascharya Tarva. What's the most amazing thing than this, other than this? We are seeing that everyone is going still. We think, yeah, I know that I am not this body, I am spirit soul. But still, I don't want to leave this body. I want to stay here. Taking care of this body and those who are connected with this body, and the property is connected with this body. The thing which is more amazing than this is that even we know that we have to go someday, but still somewhere deep down the consciousness there is one thought that at least I will not go at this moment. Yes, I will go, but not at this moment. Very amazing thing. So that's why we are always engrossed in material subject matters, discussing all the stuff. Why? Shesh Sthavaram Ichanti. Because we desire to stay here permanently in this body. We don't want to discuss about Krishna, and specifically at the present moment. Because I know I'm not going anywhere at this moment. I'm in this body. So what is the need of discussing about Krishna? We have so much topics to discuss. So for ordinary persons engaged in material activities, there are many subject matters to understand because such persons do not understand self-realization. One must therefore be educated in self-realization so that under any circumstances in life he will remain steady in his vows. So those who are totally, truly into it, the science of soul, the science of super soul, yes, I am not this body, I am spirit soul. That's why it is said in Chaitanya Charitamrita that we are having so much principles in spirituality, we have so many principles in scriptures. Even if you don't remember anything, you just have to remember only two things. First, always remember Krishna, and second, never forget Krishna. Why? Because death may come at any moment. saying in Hindi, दो बातों को भूल मत, जो चाहत कल्याण, एक मौत को दूजो श्री भगवान. Do not forget that death will come. So whenever we hear about death, we are always full of anxiety. Heart palpitates. I have to die. So to get cure of that anxiety, just remember Krishna, Sri Bhagavan. So we will be relieved of that anxiety. Yes, Krishna is there. So always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Because that is the examination and lifetime is preparation. So being in spiritual knowledge, we have to be very much convinced about this fact. First of all, I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am spirit soul. Yes, we are practicing spirituality for so many months, so many years, but still somewhere it's deep rooted in our consciousness. And it's what now? So we have to care about that. And all those lamentations we face throughout our day, anxieties we go through, it's only because of that reason. Somewhere it's there that I am this body. The moment it's get clear, I am not this body, I am soul, who is part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is such an Ananda Vigraha. I am also, my nature is such an Ananda Vigraha. How can I lament in this temporary world? You must have observed in spiritual community that those who are really convinced about this fact, I am soul, part and parcel of Krishna, my nature is to only serve Krishna, they are always blissful. Even so many calamities came into their life, they are still not disturbed. Yes, emotions are poured out, but still they are not disturbed that much. And those devotees, yes, they are practicing spirituality, but somehow they are not convinced of this philosophy. I am soul, part and parcel of Krishna, servant of Krishna, my nature is to serve Krishna, and that is my only bliss. When calamities came, when calamities comes, they are disturbed, they are shaken. Why they are shaken? Because their foundation is not strong. And the whole foundation of spirituality is this only, that I am the soul, part and parcel of Krishna, and my nature is to serve Krishna. Satchidananda Vigraha, full of bliss, full of knowledge and eternal. And the devotee who has this strong foundation will survive the onslaughts of material nature. Otherwise not possible. No matter how much shlokas we memorize, no matter how much shlokas we know, how much philosophy we know, but if the foundation is not strong, we can't survive. And we have to practice that for making that foundation. You know, this building, temple we are in, you can just see this, the first floor. But before the construction begins, before it began in 2020, I guess, right? 19? Before lockdown. It was in 20 lockdown. So first of all, what happened? It was a digging of the earth. This deep foundation inside, so that the temple remains for the next 1,000 years. But if there is no foundation, just one hurricane, it's not in Aurangabad, at least one wind, a strong wind, the building may collapse. So we have to build that strong foundation of spirituality, the basic principle, you can say ABC, that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, the servant of Krishna, who can and who will leave this body anytime, at any moment. So we have to always be in the preparatory mode to pass the examination. And what will help us to build this foundation? Yes, really? Harinam. And how will we will get that faith in Harinam?
Hearing.
Sorry?
Hearing of the Lord.
Hearing. And who will inspire us to hear about the Lord?
Devotees.
Association of devotees. That's what Srila Prabhupada has given us. ISKCON, International Certificate Krishna Consciousness. The 7 purposes. Have you read those 7 purposes? What are the purposes of ISKCON? To provide a facility, devotee association, where devotees can come together, congregate together, to do Harinam, to discuss Krishna Katha. And that's what built the foundation. Because in devotee association, devotees remind us, Prabhuji, have you done your 16 rounds? Have you completed that? Okay, 16 mala ho gaye. Today, what you read in Bhagavatam, what you heard today, can you discuss? Always reminding. That's what helps us to build that foundation. Daily hammering. As what we in advertising industry, the term they use, hammering. The hoardings, the billboards. A particular brand you always see. Whenever next time you go to the shop, you will buy that brand only. Because it's a continuous hammering. Similarly, into our consciousness, we have to continuously hammer. What do we have to hammer? I'm not this body. I'm spirit soul who is part and parcel of Krishna. Servant of Krishna, and I am a servant. And what does servant do? Service. So always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So being in temple, it's quite obvious. There are multiple activities that are connected to Krishna. But particularly, Srila Prabhupada's right here. What Grihastha Ashram? Because there are chances of being deviated, getting deviated. So this is a wonderful example of Bhakti's Bhaktivinoda Thakur, expert in every affair. He was a judge, magistrate, but whenever he comes back home from the office, getting fresh, straight up Goloka Vrindavan. Why? Can you imagine? When I enter home, I feel like Goloka Vrindavan. Because material conception is that those who are doing job or business, their claim is that whenever we go home, we feel frustrated. Because everyone is demanding something or other. This is not done, you have you brought this, where are the rest of the things? But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, whenever I come home from court, I feel that I have come into Goloka Vrindavan. Why? Because everyone is in that mood, in that consciousness, that yes, I have to serve Krishna, and they are doing kirtan together. And you know what is the name of the in Mayapur? Sodham Sukhat Kunj. That's what the name of the house. And yes, Sukhat Kunj. In Naam Yad Rakho, you know this name because we have to go there. He's in our Parampara Guru. Sukhat Kunj, the place which provides bliss. Why bliss? Because everyone is in that mood, glorifying Krishna, doing kirtan. No home, cultivate that mood, discussing Krishna. So we will feel this, we will feel that bliss. Even being in this material world, we will be spiritually engrossed. And we will count it as Manushya Naam Sahasreshwar. And that is, in that way, we will be practically full of knowledge, self-realization. Why? Because we are practically doing that. And when we are into that, we will have knowledge that we have to serve Krishna. We will certainly will never lament. Because if we are not into it, because it is difficult for that person to educate that person because he is in illusion. So if we are serving Krishna, definitely we will be educated. We will never lament, and we are not into illusion. And we will always be spiritually engrossed. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Any questions? Any comments? Yes, Sanjay. Yes, Sanjay, no problem.
मुझे आपने बताया कि मतलब हमेशा हमको याद रखना चाहिए कि हम शरीर नहीं है, आत्मा है. बट कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि ऐसी बाधाएं आती है कि हम वो नहीं याद कर सकते. कभी हम रिलेटिव्स में गए, जाना ही पड़ता है, ग्रस्त को संभालना पड़ता है, या कभी कभी ऐसी बातें आती है कि वो हम पे ज़्यादा हावी हो जाती है. तब ऐसे वक्त हमारी चेतना हम कैसे वो ट्रैक पे ला सकते हैं कि जो आपने बात बताई, जब आपने वो बताया है कि हम आत्मा है, जब हम ये हमेशा मिलते याद रखेंगे तो ही हम ये याद रख सकते हैं कि हम भगवान की सेवा कर रहे हैं. अगर ये याद रखेंगे तो हम समझेंगे कि हम दास है भगवान. बट अब कभी कभी वो हो जाता है, कभी आधे दिन के लिए हो जाता है, या कभी रिलेटिव्स में गए हैं तो 2-3 दिन तक वो थोड़ा सा सौम्य हो जाता है. तो इस तरह कैसे हमारी चेतना को हम संभाल सकते हैं?
Should I answer in Hindi or English?
कोई भी चलता है. एक्चुअली मुझे हिंदी इंग्लिश बोलना नहीं आता है, समझ में आता है.
Okay, thank you. Because today is Monday. I have to. First thing is that we say that we are not this body, we are soul. That does not mean that we have to neglect the needs of the body. We are not this body, but we are in this body. There's a difference. We are not this body, but we are in this body. That means we have to take care of this body. When I am saying that I am a servant of Krishna, so who has given us this body? Krishna. So Krishna has given us this body as an opportunity to purify our consciousness so that we can reach Krishna. So when we have this body, that means we have various duties also which are related to this body. So as you are saying that for a half day we can remember or we can do those activities in relation with this soul. And sometimes for 2 to 3 days there are functions at relative side, we have to go there, attend those ceremonies. Yes, being into Grahastha ashram, we have those responsibilities, we have to go there. We have to attend those ceremonies. Because that's the requirement at that moment. But simultaneously, we should not forget that we are not this body. Yes, I have to do those ceremonies. For some basic example, don't require any food, then why do you eat? Bhook lagta hai, simple. You feel hungry, it's a need of the body, we have to eat. And do we just plain dal and rice? Or we do eat paranthas also, dal bati also, pav bhaji also. So that do not be the simple thing. It's various spices also. Why? Because at this moment, that's the need of the body. If you just provide the body with simple things, just basic things, you will feel frustrated. We don't even want to cultivate the science that I'm not this body, I'm soul. We will get so much frustrated, I will not go to temple from tomorrow. Why? Because tongue means that's a present conditioning. I want spicy food, I want aloo parantha, I want dal bati, I want pav bhaji. But simultaneously, I must know that whatever I am eating, I have to offer that to the Lord. I will eat only prasad as service to Krishna. And gradually, I will try to come to that stage where I don't even need spices to pacify my tongue. I don't even want palatable dishes just to gratify my tongue. That's a gradual process. And we have to cultivate that. Suddenly, you can't come from this to this level. We will trip. Just have to push. Step by step, step by step, step by step. Baby steps. So point is, we have to perform those duties which are in connection with the body, but at the back of mind, we should always be alert that I am not this body. Yes, I am doing this because it's my duty, but I do have to remember that I am not this body, I am soul. Every stage I have to serve Krishna. Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur, about whom we were discussing, he was a judge, magistrate. Magistrate means always into criminal cases. Who is doing what, punishing those, just solving those cases, seeing those files. He was doing all those stuff. But and we know he's our Acharya. What beautiful songs he wrote. How is it possible? Because always in consciousness he knows that I am just a servant of Krishna. Yes, Mataji? Did you get my answer? Hare Krishna. Shall we stop here? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की हरे कृष्ण।